Think you've got history all figured out? Like Napoleon was super short? Vikings wore horned helmets and Einstein flunked math? Yeah? No? Turns out a bunch of what we think we know about history is just recycled nonsense. Blame textbooks, cartoons, or that one kid in class who always said random facts with too much confidence. Today, we're busting open the biggest historical myths you probably still believe. And trust me, it's gonna get messy. Let's wreck your middle school knowledge, shall we? 1. Vikings never wore horned helmets. Let's start with those mighty, horn hat-wearing Vikings. Bad news? The horns? Completely fake. No Viking ever wore one in battle, unless they were headbutting cows, which they weren't. The horned helmet image came from opera. Specifically, a 19th century costume designer said, "You know what'll make these Norse dudes look extra dramatic? Horns and boom, now every Halloween costume is wrong. Real Viking helmets? Basic metal domes? No flare? It's practical skull-protecting gear. Archaeologists have never found a legit Viking helmet with horns. So yeah, the only thing those guys raided was our imagination." 2. Napoleon was not short. Ah yes, Napoleon Bonaparte. The angry little man with a big temper. Right? Wrong. The man wasn't short. He was about 5 feet 6 inches or 5 feet 7, which was totally average for the 1700s. So where'd the short king slander come from? Blame the Brits. They used a different measuring system, and when they saw his height written in French inches, they assumed he was teeny tiny. We just rolled with it for centuries. So no, Napoleon didn't start wars because of a height complex. He was just ambitious. And maybe a little extra. 3. People in the Middle Ages didn't think the Earth was flat. Here's another classic. That people in the Middle Ages believed Earth was flat. Yeah, no, that's a 19th century invention, ironic, since they were the ones getting it wrong. Even in ancient Greece, people knew Earth was round. Ever heard of Eratosthenes? Dude figured out Earth's circumference with a stick and some shadows. Smart guy. In the Middle Ages, educated folks were still reading Greek and Roman stuff. So no, medieval scholars weren't freaking out thinking sailors would fall off the edge. The only thing flat was their bread. 4. Einstein didn't fail math. Albert Einstein, the wild-haired genius, right? But you've heard he failed math in school. Absolute myth. The guy was doing calculus by 15. The Einstein failed math thing came from a misquote in a newspaper. He even laughed about it later and was like, "I never failed math. Before I was 15, I had mastered differential and integral calculus." So yeah, unless failing math means being a decade ahead of your class, that rumor's toast. 5. The Great Wall of China isn't visible from space. Great Wall of China is the only man-made object visible from space. Sure, and I'm the Tooth Fairy. This myth has been repeated in books, classrooms, even by astronauts, who later said, actually, nope, from low Earth orbit. Maybe if lighting is perfect, you squint and ignore everything else. From the moon, definitely not. The wall blends in with the terrain too well. So if you're dreaming of astronauts admiring ancient brickwork, sorry, not happening. 6. American independence wasn't declared on July 4th. Cue the fireworks. It's the 4th of July, but hold up. The US actually declared independence on July 2nd. Yep, the Continental Congress voted for independence on July 2nd. The 4th is just when they adopted the final wording of the Declaration, and most people didn't even sign it until August. So technically, you should be grilling hot dogs and blowing things up 2 days earlier. But hey, the 4th rolls off the tongue better. 7. Marie Antoinette never said, "Let them eat cake." Let them eat cake. It's the most casually heartless thing a queen could say, right? Except, she didn't say it. There's zero evidence Marie Antoinette ever uttered those words. The quote existed before she was even famous, and was probably thrown on her as propaganda during the Revolution. She wasn't a saint, but she wasn't tossing pastry insults at starving peasants either. The woman got blamed for a lot. This quote's just one more thing on the list. So, let's recap. Vikings didn't have horn hats. Napoleon wasn't short. Medieval people weren't flat earth dummies. Einstein crushed math. The Great Wall is invisible from orbit. July 4th is kind of a technicality, and Marie Antoinette didn't talk desert politics. Wild, huh? History isn't just facts. It's the stories we think are facts. But now, you're armed with actual knowledge. Probably way too smug at trivia night. If this video just wrecked everything you thought you knew, good. That's what we're here for. Smash that like button, send this to your fun fact friend who always gets it wrong. And subscribe for more truth bombs. That'll make your old history teacher sweat. And remember, just because it's been repeated a million times doesn't mean it's true. Stay curious and double check your facts.